Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over 5 different ways you can make money online. This is the video that I wish I found when I started my online money making journey. For each of these ideas, I'm going to cover how hard it is to get started and how hard it is to maintain alongside your 9 to 5 job. All of these 5 income streams are ones that I've either done myself, I've paid someone to do, or I give you examples of entrepreneurs who are currently executing on these ideas and making thousands of dollars a month. It is important to state that I'm not including any in this video that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, so let's start. Number one is newsletters. This is an old idea, but I feel over the last few years it has really come back on the scene. And there are a few main reasons that a lot of people are starting their own newsletters. Firstly, there are now services like Substack, which make it super easy to start your own newsletter, and you can start with zero costs. The Substack platform is probably the one I'll be using for my bi-weekly newsletter, so keep a watch out for that. Second reason that people are realizing that growing a following on social media is like building a community on rented land. And with one change in the algorithm, you could lose all visibility and reach. Everything belongs to the platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, and even here on YouTube. So building a newsletter is a really good way of taking your core audience off the platforms and gaining some control. And instead of being a renter, owning your own space where you can build a like-minded community. The third reason that newsletters are gaining in popularity is that you could build a following without even showing your face. One of the most popular newsletters today is called Morning Brew. Morning Brew shares the daily business and tech news. It shares it in a really interesting and digestible manner. Morning Brew was founded by Alex Lieberman and it has over 4 million followers. Last year, it turned over $50 million. The majority of that revenue came from email marketing, sponsored ads, and affiliate links. And Morning Brew grew really fast and it grew through word of mouth. I can distinctly remember going into the office and my colleague Nicola, she was reeling off these facts and figures even before the markets opened. And she wasn't someone who was normally that clued up. And it was quite funny because I was like, "Oh, have you read the Financial Times today?" And she said, "No, I get this email called Morning Brew." She showed me, and that's when I subscribed. And I've been a subscriber ever since. In terms of getting started, I will give it a 4 out of 5, as it's super easy to get started with a newsletter. You could start by writing each week about a project that you're working on, either in work or at home, and share ideas, things that you learned while working on the project, or just your thoughts, what's on your mind, and just ship it out. I think to grow it is a little bit more difficult if you've not already built an audience or a following, because obviously in that case, you'll be relying heavily on word of mouth. So in terms of maintenance, I will give this 2 out of 5 because you'll be spending quite a bit of time in marketing your newsletter. Idea number 2 is selling a digital product. I think these days we've all heard about digital products. It could be something as simple as an ebook or even a downloadable app. This is great because it's something that you can just create once and sell multiple times, hundreds and even thousand times. There's this guy called Easlow. You can check him out on Instagram or even here on YouTube, and he basically shares how to be more productive and how to get more out of the Notion app. If you haven't heard of Notion, it's basically an online note-taking app. Easlow sells different Notion templates and he shares tips and tricks of how to become more productive and creates his own minimalistic design template. And last year he made over $200,000 just selling his templates online. And I've seen lots of other entrepreneurs and content creators doing the same, selling their own version of templates and workflow setups online. And that just goes to show, just because there's other content creators selling online templates, that doesn't stop you selling your own templates within your own niche and with your own design. So how hard is it to get started? Well, I'll give it a 3 out of 5, as unlike a physical store where you have to buy from the wholesaler or get something manufactured, there's no upfront cost in starting a digital product. What you do need to do is make a product that could add value to people and their lives, which will make sure there's a demand for your product. So you can identify a problem or a gap in the market and use your skills to bridge that gap. In terms of ongoing maintenance, I would give it a 4 out of 5. As once you've got it up and running, there's very little you need to do to maintain it, apart from maybe some updates or creating some new versions of the template for different niches. Number 3 is video editing. A lot of content creators give advice to outsource your video editing, and they say it's quite cheap and easy to do so. You can, but it's important to find the type of editor that understands the niche that you're in and the type of content that you would like to produce. Your vision, essentially. I don't know if it's just me, but getting a good and reliable editor can be expensive, and there sure is a big shortage of good ones. And when you approach experienced editors on freelance websites like Fiverr or Upwork, they're charging upwards of $40, $50 to edit a 10 or 15-minute video. So if you want to make some solid cash, this is a surefire way to go. I recommend to price it competitively to start, and once you've got a solid client base and you've got a lot of reviews, you've got a lot of recommendations from those clients, then you can start to scale it up and you can end up making thousands. In terms of how hard this is, I will give it 3 out of 5, as it's fairly easy to learn how to edit basic 10-15 minute videos. I mean, if I could do it, I think anyone can do it. Before I started on YouTube, I didn't know a thing about Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. However, there is an abundance of information online and you can learn like that. I personally learned how to edit through YouTube and Skillshare, which taught me everything I needed to get started. And you could use a free trial for 30 days, and then by all means you can cancel it after you've learned something. I'll leave a link in the description box below. In terms of maintenance, I will give it a 1 out of 5, as although it can be very lucrative and you can get it started really quickly, it does mean trading your time for money, and quite a bit of your time, to be honest. And of course, you've got to work with client deadlines, etc., change and do revisions for clients. And if you're doing all this alongside your 9 to 5 job, it can be a bit of a juggle. Number 4 is a SaaS business. SaaS basically stands for Software as a Service. It is a way of delivering applications over the internet as a service. There are tens of thousands of people around the world making money online using a SaaS business. Apps that all of you use for health, fitness, beauty, booking trips. These SaaS businesses are made by people from all over the world: India, China, Korea, Japan, and even being made by people sitting on a beach in Thailand. And you won't even know it because these people don't have a following. And that's the best thing about a SaaS business. You can build one even if you're an introverted person, as long as you've got the right skills and knowledge and are willing to work hard. An example of one such app that I've used in the past is called Nomad List. It helps people find the best places to go and work, be it Chiang Mai, Cape Town, or Istanbul. And you could use it to search depending on what your preferences are, like weather, cost of living, safety, and of course, internet connection. The founder, Piotr Levels, also created another website called remoteok.com, which is essentially an online jobs board which posts remote working jobs. And these two SaaS businesses, basically these two little apps, are making him over $3 million per year. He even posted online saying, "I have no funding, zero debt, and zero employees. Just revenues and profit margins are anything between 80 or 90%. So in terms of getting started, I'll probably give this a 2 out of 5, as it's more of an idea that you have to come up with to find a gap in the market, which takes quite a bit of research and brainstorming and throwing ideas out there in iterations and trying different versions of different ideas and seeing what sticks. However, in terms of maintenance, I'll give it 5 out of 5, as once it's set up, it's pretty much a job of just maintaining it, as once it's up and running it can be self-sufficient, as most of the coding and design work is done up front. Number 5 is creating an online course. It's kind of like creating a digital product, but in video format. So in terms of getting started, I would give it a 3 out of 5, as it's not hard to make an online course, but you'll need to have skills like communication skills, skills of speaking to a camera or speaking to an audience, and generally be a subject matter expert and proficient enough to teach others. As the only reason people will actually pay for the course is if it's actually providing value, if you're actually good. The world of online education has exploded, and there's so much more money being pumped into that space. If you have a valuable skill that you could teach, this can be such a rewarding way to make money online. It's a way that you could use your strengths to teach and add value to people's lives. And if you use a platform like Skillshare, you don't even have to charge people directly. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but Skillshare is a pretty neat product. It's a great place to learn stuff, and they've got thousands of different courses on different subject matters. So anyone can upload a class on Skillshare, and the way it works is you get paid depending on the amount of time that people watch your classes. So if you've already built an audience, that's great because they'll value your time and they'll be watching your classes as you've already built a relationship of trust. However, even if you don't have an audience, as long as your class is really good and you're providing value, then the Skillshare algorithm will pick your class up and bring it to the top. So if you create a really good class or a really good lesson, it will rise to the top as the Skillshare algorithm will bring your class in front of more and more people. And it may even be shown on the Skillshare homepage, which usually means that you're providing a lot of value and people are really enjoying and learning a lot from your classes. On the Skillshare website, they say that top teachers are earning more than $100,000 a year on Skillshare. And when you've made the course, you just let it run. So in terms of maintenance, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Just a final thought. I see a lot of people starting something new and giving up before they've even given it a real chance. That's because it's quite human to expect instant gratification these days. But studies show this habit of always expecting instant success can actually stop you from achieving your goals, because you just keep abandoning projects halfway through and you don't see any project through to the end. A lot of the income streams that I've mentioned are passive income streams. And passive income isn't about overnight success, it's about putting the hard work now so you could reap the benefits later. So that's it from me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you liked it, I've got another video here that you might enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.